In this video, I'm going to show you how you can use the if statement in Excel and then filter out different kinds of data that you would be requiring. Now, if statement is very powerful, and if you can use it properly, you can really filter out and fetch the kind of data that you would require. So let's get started with our video. Let's jump into our laptop and then see the entire process, but please make sure that you do not skip and go, because if you do that, then you will definitely not get out anything from this video. So before I start the video, requesting you to please like my video and also subscribe to my channel so that you get the latest content that I create on Excel. Now, what is an if function? So if function is a function which performs a logical test and it returns one value for true result and the other for a false result. So if you see here, when I was typing here if, so it gives me a tooltip like if logical test, okay, and then it gives one for true and the other for false. So these are the two parameters that an if function will have, okay. Now, if I complete this particular if statement, so this is a very simple statement that I have here. So for an example, like say if the student is present or absent, so I say that is he present, and I say yes, and if it is yes, then I'll have say an activity code as 1. So the way I will write a very simple if function is, if this particular cell is yes, then I will have the first value, that is the value of true, as 1, and if it is not true, if it is false, then it will carry a value of 2. So that's a very simple if function. Now, what are the reasons for using the if function? To use the if function, we actually test if an argument is true or false. So you understood this from the example that I showed here. The next reason why we use if is to output a number. The third is to output a text. And the fourth is to generate a conditional formula, like say I have one cell reference minus the other cell reference. So that is a conditional formula that we use for if. So now let's go back to our worksheet that we were using for our small business for different sites, okay, and then let's see how we can use that. So this is the workbook that I'm using for the different videos that we are having on the Excel function. So in case you have not watched the video for sum, then average, count, minimum, maximum, then relative reference, then absolute reference, please go ahead and watch in my channel. You can go to my channel and see the other videos that I have, and then come back to the conditional statement, because you need to understand those before you actually start off with the conditional statements. So coming back to this particular sheet, so these are the books that I am using for the purpose of this particular demo. So in no way are these prices actual, these are just made up values, so don't go ahead and think that these are the real values, okay. So now I have set a field as say budget. So this is the budget say I have for procuring say these books, okay. So this is a field for budget, and actual is what is the value or what is the cost that I had to bear for having these books, okay. So I want to find a status. Say I have a status field and I want to see whether I have exceeded my budget or I am within my budget. So the way you would be doing it is you would be giving the equal to sign. So this lets Excel know that you are actually trying to enter a particular formula. So you write if, then bracket, and then you give the actual. If it is greater than the budget, then I will type in say exceeds budget, and if it is false, then I will have it as within budget. So what it actually does is, if I press tab here, so it says that if F4, so the one which is highlighted in blue, if this particular field is greater than the budget, then the true condition it will return is, it says exceeds budget, and if the actual that I actually invested, if that value is less than what I actually budgeted, then it will return within budget, which is logical. So it gives this as exceeds budget, so definitely it does exceed. So now what I do is I double click on this particular dot that I have, and it returns me all the different values. So I will have to remove this because, you know, as I said, you know, if you double click that, then Excel will actually populate all the fields. You know, it finds, so it thinks that, you know, I want to write the formula for these fields also, right? So that is why it has actually populated those fields, but that is not right, so I will delete those values here. Okay, so coming back here, so let's take the next example. So why it is within budget? The reason is because the actual cost, that is, or the actual money spent is less than what I budgeted, and that is why it is within budget. Okay, so that is how it calculates and you get these. So just imagine if you had a Excel sheet that had lots and lots of rows and data. So if you could write a particular if statement in this the way I did, you would write it once and then you could use it for all your different data that you had, right? And you would get immediate output how to find the exceeds budget or within budget. So also try to find if it exceeds my budget, okay, or what is the quantity, what is the value that it exceeds by. So the way you would do it is it equal to, you give the equal to sign, then if, and then bracket. Again same thing, if F4 is greater than E4, okay, then what I will do is I will write a conditional statement here. So I will say F4 minus E4, okay, so it gives me the value, the difference of that, and if it cannot find the difference, then it will return me a 0. Okay, so I press tab and it gives me the difference of 1200 minus 990, and then I actually drag it. I actually drag this and I get all the values. So in this case, since it was within budget, so obviously F5 minus E5 will not work out, right? So it then goes to the false statement. It goes to the logical wing for the false. So it returns me 0. Now for the sales status, the way I want the data to populate is that it will first see the sales date. If there is a value there, then it will write here as sold, and if the book is not yet sold, then it will write here as available. Okay, so that is how I want it to do. I want you to write in the comments below the way you have utilized the if you can use with any other logical operator. Like I have used greater than, so you can use, say, maybe less than equal to or less than or equal to, and derive a formula and give me the different values that you would be getting. Give me the output that you got in the comments. Also let me know how you found exceeds by, and if you can think of some other way you can do it. Instead of exceeds by, maybe you can say loss, how much I lost, loss incurred. Okay, so if you can do that, and you can give it in the comments below. The next if condition that I'll show here is for the sales status. So the way I want the value to populate is that if I have a sales date, then it will give me as sold here, and if I have it as blank, that means it is not yet sold, then it will write here as available. So the way I'll do it is equal to if, and then I'll give a bracket, and then I will have this particular cell. Okay, I'll take the reference of this particular cell, and then not equal to null. Okay, and then comma, and then I'll write here inside this as sold. Okay, so this will be if it is true, and then what will be the false? That it will be available. Okay, so after this I have to close the bracket and I have to give the enter. So this is obviously available because you can see J4 is, if it is blank, then it is available, and if it is not blank, then it is sold, right? So that is why it is available, because this is blank. and then I pull this for the other rows, and then I get this as sold. Okay, so this is how you would get this. So I have again used another logical operator, if you noticed here, as not equal to. Now I want you to again do for another logical operator. So in case you are not knowing logical operator, let me know below in the comments, and then I can have a separate video for you guys, and I can explain what is a logical operator in more detail. So just write in the comments and let me know what are the different logical operators you use to get these values of available and sold. Now use the if to compare different values. Okay, so you got the sense of how you are using the if function. In case you have liked my video, please subscribe to my channel, give a big thumbs up, and also don't forget to click the notification button so that you know whenever I am uploading a new video on these different areas. And if you want me to specifically create a video on a subject, and if it is more than say 200 comments, I'll definitely go ahead and create another video on that particular subject.